Hi, this is Roland with the SEO Keywords Tracker.com. Today's session is about SEO and HTTP. Every time you browse the web, you notice the leading letters HTTP of a web address. In case you don't know what this actually stands for, it stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It's one of the many protocols that's used by the internet to enable communication between clients and servers. There are several more like FTP, SSH, Telnet, and so forth. SEO is all about optimizing web pages for search engines. Search engines have so-called bots that do nothing else but crawl the internet for content and index it in a gigantic database. The way bots crawl the internet is over the mentioned protocol HTTP. That's why it's important for SEO to know a little bit about this protocol and to understand what kind of communication is going on between the clients and the server. The simplest way to do that is to pretend to be an HTTP client, like a web browser or a bot. So in order to do that, we're first going to open a terminal. We will use this terminal as our client to talk to an HTTP server. For this demonstration, we're actually going to talk to a server of one of our reference customers, Science Castle. We will use Telnet to connect to the server via command line. So we type Telnet, sciencecastle.com, 80, and push enter. And now we are requesting a web page from the server. In this case, we are requesting the home page. The web server responds with an HTTP response that you can see here. The response consists of an HTTP header and the requested content if found. In our example, you can see that the web server responded with a HTTP /1.1200 OK status code. This tells the client that the request was received by the server correctly and that the requested page was found. It also includes various information that describes what server it is, what caching rules it uses, and so forth. The important part to understand from an SEO perspective is the various status codes of the HTTP response. The SEO Keywords Tracker.com tool has a separate report that monitors the HTTP responses of the web servers of the URLs that you track. So let's take a look at the tool and see how this can come in very handy for you as an SEO perfectionist. So once you get to the homepage of SEOKeywordstracker.com, you click on Access Tracker. Then you type in your username and password and hit enter. Then the tool is loading all the different website profiles that you track or have visited in the past. So now it's coming up. We're interested in Science Castle, so we filter it by Science Castle and again push enter. Now it's searching for the website profile Science Castle. Found it here. Has a Google rank of 4, 214 incoming links. And now we click on track under actions to get to the actual website dashboard for Science Castle. So this is the standard dashboard. It shows you all kinds of information from Google rank to Facebook likes, Google plus ones, and so forth. It has the latest screenshot. But in this session, we're interested in speed and technology in the left navigation. So let's click on speed and technology. The dashboard that you see now shows you the speed of the URL in seconds. That's measured by the SEO keywords tracker daily. It also shows you the speed measured by Alexa as well as the percentile. Now for sciencecastle.com, Alexa doesn't seem to have any information. Alexa doesn't track information for all websites, but for the ones that it does, you can actually see the load time as well as the percentile in here. The number of redirects shows you how many HTTP requests and responses the client and server have to exchange before the client receives the final content. So let's click on the technology link in the left navigation to understand what's happening better, because it said there's a redirect of 1. So in the text area on the left here, it shows you the HTTP responses of the server for the most current date. Today is October 7th, 2011. The selection box in the middle here allows you to go back in time and look at the HTTP responses from previous dates. And the table on the right is a quick summary of the most common HTTP status codes and their meanings. So let's take a look and see what we can learn from here. So Science Castle has been around since 2006 and has been grown since then, and it has a lot of international visitors in the meantime. So in order to improve performance for its visitors abroad, sciencecastle.com decided to implement a DNS-based caching service just a few days ago. The service they chose is called Cloudflare, as you can see right here. Cloudflare has a large number of servers around the globe that now host a version of Science Castle's website. So if a customer resides, for example, in India, they would receive the content from a server based in their location, which improves the user experience. So you can see that this switch actually happened between September 26th and September 27th. So now coming back to the HTTP header tracking. So you can click on past headers and you can see where the switch happened. The system also shows you the HTTP headers that are passed back by the server for the various redirects. Science Castle, for example, has a HTTP status code of 301, which is a redirect, and then it responds back the second time with an HTTP status code 200. The most important status codes to understand from an SEO perspective are the two redirects, the 301 and the 302. All three major search engines handle the 301 redirects the same. That's to say, they ignore the original URL and instead index the destination URL. 301 redirects can be very powerful when you redesign your website and the URLs change, or if you move to a different domain, acquire a new domain, or implement a URL rewrite. In most cases, this is the type of redirect you want to use because you know exactly how the search engines will respond. Now the 302 redirect that Science Castle had in place until October 5th is a temporary redirect and tells the search engine bots that for now show the content of this URL, but this might change again. The three major search engines handle 302 redirects very differently, and because of this, 302s are typically not recommended. Google treats 302 redirects differently depending if they are on domain or off domain. So off-domain 302 redirects would be ripe for hijacking situations if treated the same way. Because of this, in most cases, Google will treat off-domain 302 redirects like 301s, where they will ignore the original URL and instead index the destination URL. So this concludes our session today on HTTP and SEO. Thanks for watching.